Hi, everybody. It's Tim Constantine from the Washington Times, joined by my good friend for America. He's Dave Bozell. Hi, Dave.
How are you, Tim?
Dave, I'm doing spectacular. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just, last night, Metallica. So I've been Metallica'd.
So if you say,
my
I'm
day,
sorry,
my day is shot.
Pardon me, I'll know why. Enter the Sandman, baby.
That's right.
Hey, speaking of things that are, wow moments, last night while you were enjoying some good music, Elon Musk tweeted out, X'd out, a message that said, "Thank you, Mr. President, for the great opportunity to try and trim government waste. I appreciate it." It essentially was a goodbye. Elon is out. On May 30th, of course, is 130 days, and that's the limit that you're supposed to do. But Elon Musk has seen his personal side suffer as a result of his work. Sales are down by about half in Europe, which is a little misleading because, truthfully, all auto brand sales are way off in Europe. But nonetheless, if you don't pay attention to your business on a daily basis, you pay a price for it. Elon Musk has. He's going back to business. What do you think, A, of the job he's done, B, of the relationship that he and Trump have, and should we expect to see any more of Elon going forward?
Yeah, it's not just car sales that are down. We've all seen the stories. Tesla owners are having their cars keyed and rocks thrown at them, and Elon's talked about how there's been rocks thrown through dealership windows. It's he's obviously needs to get back to his company and tend to his employees. Look, I think what Elon Musk has done with shining a light on all of this waste, fraud, and abuse is something that the conservative movement has been clamoring for the last 40, 50 years. The appetite to get rid of what Elon has identified is right there for the taking for the Republican Party. I understand, perhaps as of this morning, they're going to push up some of these rescission packages that will include those cuts. The original plan was to wait for the reconciliation bill to pass. Elon has voiced his frustration, and appropriately so, that his identified cuts could not be included into that reconciliation package. And kind of was out there on X saying, "Look, I tried my best. Who knows when they're ever going to get around to doing this?" And now,
well, and along those lines, let's talk about the relationship between Trump and Musk, because both of them came forward on January 20th on the same page. Gee, we're in the swamp. We got to get rid of all this. There's all kinds of waste, which is true. There is all kinds of waste in government, but there's also the reality of changing government. That big ship is very hard to turn around. Is Trump giving in a little bit to that reality? Or where are we in this process? Because what's been put forward doesn't include a lot of the cuts that Elon had hoped to see.
Yeah, the reconciliation package had to include mandatory spending. Those are the rules of reconciliation bills. It could not include discretionary funds, which hot button topics like USAID were. They were discretionary. So they couldn't be included in that package. Now, why that wasn't sort of sent along to Elon prior to the bill's development, I don't know. You can tell the Republicans are in almost donor relations mode, right? Here's a gentleman who was left wing up until about, September of 2025 or 2024. And he was, almost a self-proclaimed Democrat/libertarian, and then turns around and hands over $100 million of his own money to help get these guys elected. And they don't want to follow through on what he was tasked to do, which is find the waste, fraud, and abuse. He did it. And the Republicans in Congress, start getting squirmy. Not sure if we have the votes for this. Not sure if we have the votes for that. Let's punt it after this. Just kicking cans down the road. And Elon, appropriately so, puts pressure on these guys. Look, not only is he the world's richest man, he's most undoubtedly the GOP's biggest donor. And he just so happens to own the most prolific free speech vehicle, political free speech vehicle, a political free speech system in the world. So you got to sort of cater to, what he wants and what
To
he
your
was tasked to
point,
do.
I was at the Qatar Economic Forum last week. They interviewed Elon Musk at his one-on-one sit down, and they asked him that. They said, you gave an enormous amount, not only in the United States, but in Europe as well. He gave an enormous amount trying to impact the outcome. Will that continue? And he said point blank, probably not. He said, and they said, why not? And he said, his exact words were, I think I've given enough.
Yeah, sure. I don't blame him. The lack of expediency, the lack of urgency with Republicans in the House, and a lot of people want to say, well, it's Speaker Mike Johnson's fault. I don't think so. It's the caucus's fault. The Speaker's job is to get in front of the bill that will move. It's really a pretty easy gig when you get down to it. Get in front of the bill that's going to pass. These guys can't seem to get out of their own way to want to pass anything. And when you're talking about just this egregious amount of spending, particularly in the USAID stuff, where you're paying for, $2 million for transgender surgeries in Malaysia or some other silly thing, the fact that you can't, immediately cut that, I don't care how slim your margins are, just goes to show you, I think, at its basic core, how lazy most of the Republicans in Congress really are. They really don't want to work that hard. And so
have we come, over the years, and you and I have been doing this a long time. Over the years, we've seen all kinds of studies from the left, from the right, and they've promised all kinds of things from the left and from the right. And, we're going to change this. We're going to do that. And they will get headlines for 3 months, for 6 months, for some extended period of time. Ultimately, Washington really doesn't change much. That's where that phrase, the swamp, comes from, is it sucks everything in. It's very hard to maneuver in there. Have we just seen the swamp in action again? Is Elon Musk, at the end of the day, put out a tremendous report that will go back on the shelf and will not have the intended impact? Is it just one more of those?
I am bullish on, I think, the Republicans getting these rescission packages moving. The fact that the schedule has changed, where they were previously going to wait until reconciliation passed. Now they're going to put this stuff on the floor, and by the middle of this month, you're going to start to see DOGE cuts codified into law. That is really a byproduct of Elon kind of going on his own platform and saying, look at the statement. Thank you for the opportunity to try. That is deflating. Now, Elon's got to be a little bit more glass half full, right? And push these guys along. He has an incredible bully pulpit. He can do it. And not only does he have the bully pulpit in his platform, but he's got the bully pulpit in his checkbook. And so that got people's attention. I don't think I'm going to continue to support these guys. That got people's attention. That finally got people moving. And hopefully that'll help the Republicans to break through what you were just suggesting, the swamp just kind of protecting its own. I'm bullish on it. I want to be glass half full at all times on these sort of things. Otherwise, what's the point of us being here? And I think they're going to get some things through, starting with Corporation for Public Broadcasting, PBS and NPR. I think that's going to be the first one in the middle of this month.
We live in a world where the news cycle is about every 10 minutes. There's something going on, and we tend to pass judgment immediately. This was a success. This was a failure. And that's not how history actually happens. It doesn't, there are events going, but we cannot always see with 20/20 vision in real time. Sometimes you need to wait a little while. And so my question is, 5 years from now, when we've got President so-and-so, there is no longer President Trump, and we look back at the Elon Musk era, will we look back and see his work in Doge as a success, or will we see it as just another government folly?
Glass half full again. I think we're going to see it as a success. The fact that he owns the most influential political message board in the world, he can continue to beat these drums about what Doge is, and Doge is still there. Let's not say that. Let's not pretend that it's going to get thrown into a closet. Russ Vought is going to be running Doge at the top level from here on out. So they're going to continue to expose and find things. The Social Security mess needs to be addressed and codified into law. Those fixes that guy Big Balls discovered. Those things need to be codified, and I think that's also going to be on deck later on this summer. So I think 5 years from now, we're going to look back at Elon Musk's temporary appointment as one of the more profound decisions that Trump made during Trump 2.0.
Elon is out, but Dave says it's been history in the making. For America, he is Dave Bozell. I'm Tim Constantine. Thanks for joining us.